This is a presentation of the project on the topic Relation between Economy and Happiness, a comparative study for the OECD countries accomplished for the Data Warehouse and Business Intelligence module. The different data sources employed in the project are: the structured data sets have been captured from Statista, the World Bank, IMF, Eurostat, and multiple data sets have been sourced from OECD. The unstructured data has been captured from the World Happiness Report of the year 2018, out of which the desired field and data has been captured through our script. For the purpose of ETL, Visual Studio has been used. In Visual Studio, first of all, the data sets have been sourced from their respective sources, cleaned using R scripts, transformed as per the requirement of the project, and then they are being loaded into the databases so that they can finally be converted into dimensional modeling in the form of fact and tables, and then can be processed into cube. This cube can then be fed into Tableau for querying the data and getting some insightful results on the topic. At the top of the entire staging area, a truncate option is given, which truncates the entire staging area so that no duplication of data can take place during the rerun. The fact table is being connected to a dimension table, dim year and dim country, and the fact table contains all the necessary measures that are required into the project. By querying the fact table, it can be checked that it contains all the relevant data that is required for the project. Now all this data has been used in Tableau for querying and getting some insightful results. First of all, the happiness report is of the year 2018, and it comprises through all the different parameters taken in the year 15, 16 and 17. So different trends, like going for this BI query, such as how does gross domestic product and population affect happiness score of countries. The trend between GDP and population has been taken into care for all the 3 years, and since all the trend is same for all the 3 years, we can compare it with happiness and can see that for those countries where there is a stark difference between population and GDP, or for those countries which have a high population in spite of having high GDP, they don't have a good happiness score. Instead, those countries which have less population, or even though they have less GDP but they have a balance between their GDP and population, we can get a decent happiness score or a good happiness score as compared to other countries which do not have such criteria. For the second BI query, which is a determinant for happiness? Is it annual wage or the working hours that are being put? The data for all the three, that is wage, working hours and employment to population ratio, has been compared so that we cannot have an ambiguity in the trend for the 3 years 2015, 16 and 17, and then we can compare the three data sets with the happiness score of the countries. Now the upper line shows the hours per worker, and the second line shows the average annual wage that a particular person gets into that country. Now we can see that the countries having a lower score, lower happiness score, for them the hours per worker is more as compared to the average annual wage, and as we go towards those countries which have a high happiness score, the number of hours they are putting in is less as compared to the amount of annual wage that they are getting. So it can be contributed that less working hours and recently high average annual wage can contribute to happiness of the countries. Here in this analysis, the employment to population ratios remain unrelated to the happiness score of the different countries. Now the third BI query dives into the relation between disposable income, rated spendings, savings and their respective happiness scores. Now, as we can compare the trend for the 3 years, we can see that for all the 3 years 2015, 16 and 17, we get the same trend So we can compare the factors such as disposable income and the respective household savings and spendings to the happiness ratio or to the happiness index. As we can see, a high happiness score can be achieved for those countries who have a balance between their spendings and savings, while for those countries which are having a low amount of happiness score, they have a stark difference between their savings and spendings. Here also the disposable income almost goes unrelated to the happiness score, but since the savings and spendings are expressed as a percentage of disposable income, therefore it has been included in the analysis. So we can conclude that a proper balance between spendings and savings can contribute to a decent happiness score.